Hey folks, Crimson Blaze here. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite piece of gear from 2025, and that is the Onewind Hammock Sling. Now, I did do a video on this about a year ago, but it was more around the storage options that you can consider when hammock camping. It wasn't really an in-depth review because I had just received it as a gift. I hadn't used it on a backpacking trip. But after using it this past year with my Banya Bridge hammock, it has exceeded all expectations. So I thought it was time to put a video on it and just kind of talk about some of the specs of the sling, how I use it, some of the modifications that I've made to it, and how it's just been a really critical piece of gear when I go backpacking. The Onewind Hammock Sling is marketed as a hammock chair and sling. And it comes in around 6.5 ounces. But I never use it as a hammock chair. I mean, I have a hammock. And so if I want to sit down, then I'm just gonna sit down or lounge in my hammock. I don't need to bring something extra as a chair. I guess if you are a tent camper, then you might consider this as an option for a hammock chair. It's definitely a lot lighter than a regular camp chair. But even then, I would recommend the Dutch netless hammock. It weighs less at 5.5 ounces, and it's a full hammock. So you can sit in it as well as lounge in it. With the Onewind hammock chair, you can't really lay down and lounge like you could in the Dutch netless hammock. I don't think that's its strength. Its strength is its ability to store gear underneath your hammock. Plus, I'd have to bring extra hammock suspensions, find another set of trees. I'd have to deattach and reattach the hammock sling underneath, and I don't want to do that. When I get into camp, when I get everything set up, I want to attach the hammock sling and then just put my extra gear in there, whether it's my backpack or my shoes, because I'm putting on my camp shoes, or my ditty bag, electronics bag, things that are a little bit larger that I want to have access to and maybe just keep off the ground. That's what I use this for. But I have made some modifications to it. So let me hang it up or set it up and show you how it works. Once I have my hammock fully set up, then I'm gonna put on the hammock sling. And all I do is I take one end here and I'm gonna attach it to my suspension, right? So cinch buckle, carabiner, whatever you got, I attach it from one end to the other. And you can see it's hanging on the ground. But let me show you a key modification that I made that really helps with me adjusting the height of the hammock sling. The one key modification that I made is that I removed the continuous loop from both ends of the hammock sling. And instead, I put in a whoopee sling. And the reason I did that is because now I can easily adjust the height of my hammock sling just by pulling on the whoopee sling. So this gives me a lot of flexibility and really ease for raising it or lowering it based on however my hammock is set up. Having that whoopee sling on there has really made all the difference of the world in terms of ease of setup and getting it exactly where I want underneath my hammock. The main purpose I use it for is storing large gear items like my backpack, my ditty bag, electronics bag, and even my camera gear. I like to put it in here when I'm around camp because I'm a very organized person. I like things in one place. I don't want them all spread out in camp, and this really helps with that. So I can get easy access to it and I can keep it off the ground so it doesn't get wet or dirty. At night, what I'll do is I'll put my shoes in here as well. And what that'll do is, like if it's raining or storming, that keeps my shoes dry, that keeps my backpack dry, and everything is going to be protected because it's off the ground. You know, it's underneath me, so that means it's underneath my tarp, and all of my gear is protected from the elements, and I really like that. And then just the access, right? I can easily get into my backpack. I can get anything out of it that I need, and I just really love that. I love the ease of access to my gear while I'm sleeping in my hammock at night, because I don't want to get up out of my hammock and go wherever my backpack's on the end of my suspension or wherever it might be. I don't want it on the ground where it's getting wet and dirty. So this really has been a great piece of gear. I used it all of last year with my Banya bridge hammock, and it worked out really, really well. Well, that is the Onewind Hammock Sling, and it is an excellent piece of gear. So if you're looking for something to store your gear while you're hammock camping, then I highly recommend the Onewind Hammock Sling. It worked out wonderfully for me last year, and I think the real game changer for me was the modification that I made. You know, replacing those continuous loops with that whoopee sling just made the setup and adjustment of the sling so easy that it wasn't a hassle at all. And with this upcoming backpacking season, I'll be using the Dutch netless hammock, and it doesn't have a lot of storage options either. So you'll be seeing more of the hammock sling in my upcoming backpacking videos. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Until my next adventure, keep on blazing.